I never imagined the last words my father would say to me before walking out of my life would be so calm. Not angry. Not loud. Just cold. "If you walk out that door with her today," he said, standing in the living room where I grew up, "don't bother coming back." My mother stood beside him, arms crossed, eyes already distant, as if she had practiced this moment in her head 100 times. I remember looking at the clock on the wall. It was ticking louder than my thoughts. My wife-to-be, Lena, was sitting quietly on the couch behind me. Her hands were folded in her lap, her shoulders tight, her eyes focused on the carpet. She didn't say a word. She never tried to defend herself. She never begged. She knew. We both knew. This wasn't about a misunderstanding. This was about who she was, and who my parents believed she wasn't good enough to be. I took a slow breath and said, "Then I guess this is goodbye." My father nodded once. My mother turned away. And just like that, I lost my family. Lena and I met 3 years earlier at a place neither of us wanted to be, a late-night shift at a warehouse packing company. She worked 2 jobs at the time. One during the day, one at night. I was trying to pay off student loans while figuring out what I wanted to do with my life. She didn't complain. She didn't talk much at first. But every night, during our 10-minute breaks, she'd sit near the loading dock, sipping cheap coffee from a chipped mug, staring out at the city lights like she was planning something bigger. One night I asked her what she was thinking about. "Survival," she said. Then she smiled. "An escape." That made me laugh. We started talking more after that. About books. About dreams. About how neither of us came from money, but only one of us pretended that mattered. My parents always did. They weren't rich, but they acted like proximity to money was a personality trait. Appearances mattered. Backgrounds mattered. Family names mattered. Lena's parents had passed away when she was young. She grew up bouncing between relatives. No safety net. No inheritance. No respectable family history. To my parents, that made her a liability. When I first told them about her, my mother asked one question. "What do her parents do?" I hesitated. "They passed away." She nodded slowly. "That's unfortunate." What she really meant was, "That's inconvenient." Things got worse when I told them I was going to marry her. My mother cried. My father lectured. They told me I was throwing my future away. That love wasn't enough. That I was being naive. That I'd regret it. They offered compromises. Delay the wedding. Make her sign a prenup. Meet someone more suitable. I said no. So they made good on their threat. They disowned me. No calls. No holidays. No birthday messages. It was like I had died, except I was still breathing. The first year of marriage was hard. We didn't have help. We didn't have backup. When the car broke down, we walked. When the rent went up, we downsized. When I lost my job during company layoffs, Lena worked double shifts without complaining. She never once said, "I told you so." She never once blamed me for choosing her. At night, when we were exhausted, she'd rest her head on my chest and say, "We're okay. We have each other." And slowly, we built something. I found steady work. She started online classes. We saved. We planned. It wasn't glamorous, but it was ours. 3 years passed without a word from my parents. Then, one afternoon, my phone rang. Unknown number. I almost ignored it. But something made me answer. "Hello?" I said. There was a pause. Then my mother's voice. "Hi, it's Mom." I didn't speak. She cleared her throat. "Your father and I were wondering if we could come by. We need to talk." Every instinct in my body screamed no. But curiosity, and something unresolved, made me say, "About what?" Another pause. Things have been difficult. When they arrived at our apartment, I barely recognized them. My father looked smaller. His suit was gone, replaced by worn slacks and a jacket that didn't quite fit. My mother's hair was thinner, her posture less rigid. They sat on our couch, the same couch Lena and I had saved months to buy. They looked around quietly. Finally, my father spoke. We lost the house. My mother added, the investments failed. The business deal, it wasn't what we thought. They didn't look at Lena. Not once. We need help, my father said. There it was. No apology. No acknowledgement. Just need. Lena stood up. I'll make tea, she said softly. As she walked into the kitchen, my mother finally glanced at her back. You didn't have to involve her, my mother said to me. That's when something in me snapped. She's my wife, I said. You don't get to pretend she doesn't exist. My father sighed. We're family. I laughed, a short, bitter sound. You stopped being my family the day you told me not to come back. Silence filled the room. They asked to stay with us. Just temporarily. Just until things improved. Lena returned with the tea and set it down without comment. I looked at her. She didn't nod. She didn't shake her head. She trusted me. And that trust hit harder than any guilt. I'll think about it, I said. That night, Lena and I talked. I won't blame you either way, she said. But I need you to choose what lets you sleep at night. I lay awake for hours. Not thinking about money. Not thinking about obligation. Thinking about the day my parents watched me walk out without stopping me. The next morning, I met my parents alone at a cafe. I'll help, I said. But you won't stay with us. And you will apologize, not to me, but to my wife. My mother stiffened. For what? For treating her like she wasn't human? My father rubbed his face. They agreed, reluctantly. The apology was awkward. Uncomfortable. Incomplete. But Lena accepted it with grace I still don't understand. We helped them find a small apartment. I helped my father look for work. Lena even helped my mother with resumes. They were humbled. Changed? Not completely. But quieter. Months later, my mother admitted something she'd never said before. You didn't ruin your life, she said. We were wrong. I didn't respond. Because some things come too late. Today, Lena and I are doing well. We're not rich. But we're secure. And when I look at her, at the woman my parents once dismissed, I know I chose right. Because love that survives rejection, struggle, and silence? That's not weakness. That's strength. And I'd choose her again, even knowing the cost.